It's baseball. It's only one game. It's only one game, but this was a tough game to watch. I feel like in this game there was good, there was bad, and there was ugly. Let's begin with the good in this game, that being Bryce Miller.
I think that was the only good, though, to be honest, Chris. But it was very good because you saw Bryce out there in his second start of the year after starting on the IL, and he looked just as good, if not better, than the first time he was out there. He only went 5 2/3 innings. We'll get to that. I know that he wanted to be out there a little longer, but only giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, and striking out 7, I believe.
Yeah, he was magnificent. And what I love about you is you're so good when it comes to not only anchoring, being here, but reporting. And you get a feel of what the athletes are saying and how they're feeling. And that's why I want to play this soundbite. And I went a little longer than I usually do because I feel like there's a little feeling right here.
Some nuance.
Yeah, Bryce Miller pulled after 72 pitches. We heard about the piggyback game. Well, after the game, Bryce Miller, at least I think, and listen yourself, he did not seem happy at all that he was pulled from that game.
I thought I'd pitched the ball well up till then. I wasn't thinking I was coming out, but yeah, I tried. But usually I just go and throw until they take it from me. And I mean, shout out to Rock. I know it's not an easy situation for him at all, and he's a great dude, great teammate, and handled it the best he could. But yeah, no, nothing changed for me. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's we got to throw the ball whenever they tell us to throw it, and whether that's 100 pitches or 70 or 50 for Rock. We're trying to win games, and I mean, yeah, all of us. Rock's made 150 starts or more in his career, and he's been really good at it, and it's a tough situation.
All right, it is a tough situation. I've had the pleasure to cover Bryce Miller for a couple of years now. He looked pissed at me.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that if he is pissed because you want your pitchers not to be pulled from the game.
There's 2 sides to that, Chris.
Yeah.
One of them is what you just said. You want your pitchers to be pissed when they get pulled out of a game because he should be. He pitched a phenomenal game and he was only at 70-something pitches at that point. But the part that I really took away from that was how he said The Rock has been a starter for 100+ games. He's really good at that, kind of hinting at nobody is happy with this piggyback situation.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you. The moves we're making, the words we're using, you say it there, piggyback. It feels like something a team that's rebuilding would say, piggyback. You don't, come on, the Mariners are the American League West champions the last time I checked. They need to start acting like it. Bryce Miller, in my mind, doesn't need a piggyback partner. Luis Castillo is not the closer, Ariel.
Instead of a piggyback partner, would you rather them be wheelbarrows? Like one's on their hands, one's holding, and I mean a 3-legged race, perhaps?
It's like a bad summer camp movie. I'm like, what are we going to do next? Let's do the piggyback. Now it's time for the egg toss. Let's just play baseball.
Side note,
yeah.
I was actually super good at the egg toss.
Okay.
Soft hands.
You need soft hands to do well. You really do.
But back to what you just said, I mean, the most important thing that you just said just now is Luis Castillo is not a closer. No. He's not at all. And despite how well he pitched in the 7th and the 8th, that's the most a relief pitcher should be throwing in that situation. You pay $7 million for one of the best closers in the entire game. Use him.
Yeah, I agree. And there is some good news today that you have, right, for Mariner fans?
Yeah, I mean, the good news for the bullpen is that Matt Brash was activated today. He looked strong in Tacoma. I don't know if you saw any of those outings. And then Gabe Speier, he makes his first rehab appearance tonight in Everett.
So, I mean, that is all good news because we talk about one of the big concerns with this Mariners team, and we haven't even got to the offense yet. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. Has been what to do with the bullpen. You know, we've had Bill Kruger on this show saying, you know, put Bryce Miller in the bullpen. You need some arms in there. I think Bryce Miller has told everybody, no, I'm not going to the pen. I'm a starter on this team. He proved that again last night. What will they do with Luis Castillo? I'm fine with him in the bullpen. I use him in the 7th and the 8th. He's not a closer, though.
That's exactly where I'm at. I think that I think he's perfectly fine in the bullpen, but you need somebody with some chutzpah on this team to actually say, you are a reliever now. You're in the bullpen, and we're only using you for 1, maybe 2 innings, and that's it. He's not this piggyback situation where he's like starter 1A, starter 1B. No, like if he's a reliever, if he's coming out of the pen, it's 1 or 2 innings tops.
All right, and Dan Wilson talked about that after the game last night. Here he is, Dan Wilson on Munoz going into the 9th inning.
Again, we talked about before, the game started that, different scenarios exist in this, piggyback situation. And, Rock had gotten in there a little bit later. So, and we felt really comfortable with Rock out there, especially the way he was throwing the ball. And it just didn't go our way there in the 9th.
All right. Well, you love managers. You dislike managers. There was a lot of Mariner fans, as I mentioned at the start of the show, texted me last night, Egan, what in the world is going on? A lot of them referring to not only the decision to have, Castillo out there in the 9th, but also the mound visits.
Yeah, Dan Wilson did not have his best night as a manager. And in fact, people are now, with pitchforks running after him at this point.
One game.
Exactly. But it was a big blunder. You go out, like you say that, you wanted Castillo to start the 9th. That right there, bad idea, but it's okay. You had that idea. Then, after putting 2 on base, he sends Pete Woodward out there to have a little talk, and immediately afterwards goes out there, and the umpire's like, whoa, you can't do that. go back to your bench. You can't do consecutive mound visits, Chris.
All right, and here's Dan Wilson on that little blunder.
You're not allowed to go back out, and that's on me. I thought we could still go out and make the change, and thankfully Rock got the punch out, and we were able to make the change. But once the pitching coach goes out, he has to see another hitter.
Chris, do you think that he did it almost purposely to just give Munoz just that tiny bit more of time to warm up? Because, he's the closer. He needs a little bit more time. Was it did he know?
And I thought about that, because that is a move sometimes you make. You have to give your bullpen relievers. They come out, they do some exercises. My son is a reliever. They do weird hand motions, then they stretch, and then they have to throw. And yes, it's a stalling tactic, and probably let's hope that that's what they were doing. I wish he would have just said that, and just say, hey, I was stalling.
Whether he was or not.
To give 100, because then it makes you look a little bit better. Unfortunately, right now, some blunders there. Once again, just one game, but I just didn't like the feel at all of this game, and I hated the fact that people say it's only May, Egan. Yeah, but we could get in September. And
it's only September.
Yeah, it's only September. We're only one game back. Well, you remember that game on May 19th? We needed that game. Here's what's also concerning right now a little bit with this Mariners team. We were all, just flying high after Colt Emerson had the big home run, but let's also look at it. They didn't lose this game because they didn't get a big hit, but then again, they only had singular 1 hit in this game yesterday against a very a mediocre pitcher.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Is that nice?
That's a nice way of putting it.
1 hit last night. 1 for 28. The M's are 6-12 in 1-run games this season, Ariel. Not good.
No, it's not good. And your 1 hit came from Julio, which he's just heating up, and that's a great thing to see. But they're not getting production where they need to get production. How about Rob Refsnyder? I think we should be done with this experiment of Rob Refsnyder. He even against lefties, which is supposed to be his specialty, he's not hitting. I think he's hitting 112 right now or 121. Something like you really got to try to have that type of average, Chris.
He was brought in to hit lefties, and so far the experiment is not working at all.